Hey guys, Viggoman here and welcome back to another episode from Osterham. In today's episode, we are mainly building some houses to just increase the population and the size of the city. One of the main features for today's episode is the massive inn we're building and the park outside it. I wanted to add some greenery and some foliage to the city that will create some new points of interest and just add a fresh breath of air. Besides that, the city is filling up and the inside of the main walls of the city is starting to get really crowded, which is super awesome, and it means that we gotta start thinking about expanding the city. I've also started thinking about the old castle, which we talked about in the previous episode, which is going to be within the city itself. If you have any ideas, make sure to let me know in my Discord or with a comment on today's video. With all of that being said, let's wrap up the townhouse for today and move over to a small tour of this beautiful building we've done. I'm gonna start off with an aerial view so it's easier for you guys to understand where in the city we are actually working for today's episode. Just moving straight towards it, we have the buildings that we have done. The big white inn with the tower, which looks awesome. Then we have the yellow building in the back there, which is the innkeeper's house. And then the red on the side of this here, which is a diagonal building. I've also been working on the back side here, the backyards, and I gotta say I love the way this looks with all these different backyards with fields or small farms, clothes being washed, and just like overgrown old medieval style looking. I think it's really awesome. On the map, let me show you if it will load properly. You can see kind of where we are. And we're kind of moving now towards the northern part of the city, and over here, the red dot there, that is where the old castle or old keep, whatever's gonna be. So we're kind of moving towards that now, and it's gonna be logical to kind of figure out what to do here before we start adding more buildings around this place. It's kind of hard to showcase the buildings for today because the place we're kind of working with is kind of cramped right now, but the red one here is a bakery, and then the white one of course is the inn. What I really like is this street here. I've been working on kind of decorating them, so populating it with like leaves and foliage and smoothing out these mountains a little bit, and I think this street here just looks super awesome. Added a couple of new trees, all that sort of stuff. Moving towards here, just realized this house needs a little staircase to get up. I'll get on that. Then we have this house here. Besides here, we have this small shrine that's kind of carved into the mountainside, and I think that's really cool. And overall, just like a lot of foliage and bushes and all that sort of stuff. I love the way the street goes through here below and then into the back here, which is where the park is and the innkeeper's house. The bakery in the front here and the inn is built on a 45-degree angle, which makes the detailing and interiors extremely complicated, but I think it's working. So the interior here, it's very simple, but it gets the job done. It sells the point of this being a bakery, and then in the back here we have like where the bakery is actually happening. And then upstairs I somehow managed to squeeze in some interiors here as well. The staircases are always the trickiest, for especially 45 degrees, because you can't use the in-game stairs and you gotta like make these wonky looking things, but I think it works. We have a small seating area here and it is quite cozy. Then all the way over here we have like the feast hall, which is super fancy with a nice fireplace. There are two entrances to get into the inn. One of them is through this tunnel, I guess. And then there's a massive door here on this side, which takes you into the feast hall. So this is where people could come and just have food and drinks. They don't really have to spend the night, but you can come in here and just sit. It's a super cozy room. I love how dim it is in here and kind of like a pub vibe. I think it's super cozy. And then we have like a bar. You could actually go in here and order stuff. And just behind there, as you can see, we have the kitchen, so it's just adjacent to it, and it's really cool. There is a small staircase inside this tower here which takes you up, but the main entrance to get to the top section here, which is where the rooms are and where we have like some living rooms and stuff, like places for them, it's actually in the back here. So you'll use the staircases which takes you to the temple, and you'll kind of just go around here, and then you can get into the second floor, where we have this a big living room, like shared living room for the guests. It's super cozy in here. You can sit and play games and have some drinks and just have a good time. And from here you can get into all the different rooms and stuff. So here we have like a big room you could rent. It's quite cool. And then we have smaller rooms. On these sides, they're actually quite big, thinking about it. Oh, hello. Which is cool. Yeah, doors, weird. I love the interior. It's kind of, it feels grand. And I think what I wanted to do with this was to bring wealth further north in the city, because we have most of the wealth concentrated around the market square. So I kind of want to drag that towards where the old castle will be. Up here we have more rooms, looking quite fancy. I think this is like one of the shared rooms. Yeah, so here we have some bunk beds. You could, if you don't have enough money or just don't want to spend too much, you could just rent a bed in this one. And then I believe it's here, or maybe we have to go further up. Yeah, here we have a small balcony, which is cool, which looks down here. Eventually this is going to look awesome because you'll see the castle straight ahead there. But yeah, looking over at the park, I think that's really cool. Up in the attic, we just have a lot of storage here. There's actually a tower, or on top of the tower here, we have this room, which feels a little out of place. But the idea is that this is a rookery. This is a place where you could come in, you could write some letters and send them out with pigeons, like we have here. So diplomats and important people would probably stay at this inn here. And they could come up here and send a message, and even the innkeeper could go up there and send it for them. But that's the idea here. We have a tower to be able to quickly send out messages to the people who needs them. And then of course we have the park. I really wanted to add some greenery into this place. It's nothing big, and as you can see there's going to be more houses just right here. So it's just going to be a small area to get a sense of a wilderness. So we have a lot of these trees surrounding this place. I think it's really cool. There's some like a water feature in the middle here. You could wash yourself, and then yeah, some benches. There's some flowers, bushes like that, some trees, just to make it look cozy and stuff around the city. And right next to that we have the innkeeper's house. The first floor is storage and a rent out apartment. So, and the interior here, it's quite small, and this is for renting out, probably for one of the servants or someone helping out with the inn. So quite small and compact, but it gets the job done. And then again, the main entrance to the innkeeper's house is on the back here, same as we did with the inn. So you move up the staircase up on the holy rock here, and then from here we can just kind of walk alongside here, and we'll get straight into the second floor of the innkeeper's house. And this interior here is one of my favorites so far. I've had such a blast building this one. You know, you just have these days when interiors are fun, so I'm really glad with this one. We have a kitchen, we have a dining hall, and then there's like this opening here so you could serve the food through here. I think it's quite cool. I really like it. And then there's the master bedroom in the back here. Wonderful massive windows looking straight out over the park. Gotta dig it. And then upstairs there are a couple of like rooms for kids. Look how cozy this place is. I love it. Yeah, like a bathroom here. And then we have minor bedrooms. And I think we have a little bigger one over here. Yeah. Look at that. That's really cool. And then I think the upstairs is mostly storage, and the idea is that the innkeeper has had many kids, but some of them have moved out. So here it's just like an empty bedroom. The beds are here, but there's no sheets on them, and it's kind of covered in cobweb. And that is everything for today's episode. I've had a blast building this one. It's been a struggle. It's been hard, but it's also been fun, and I think it turned out great. I love adding diagonal buildings, and as I always say, I hate building them, but I love having them, so it's kind of a dilemma. But the way they make the city feel organic, just look at the map here, the way this road kind of curves, how it breaks up the Minecraftness of the city and make it look more real is just awesome. So I'm really happy to have them, and I hope that you guys will get some tips and ideas from the videos for your own diagonal buildings. I think it's important to experiment with that, and it's definitely a challenge even for the best of builders to do diagonal buildings, but as I've said, it just changes everything. So have some fun with that. Also got to say, I love the way the city is shaping up, and it's growing quite fast, and like half of the interior, the inner section, like which is covered in walls, which is going to be for the wealthier part of the city, is now covered, and then there's going to be more over here on the plains, which is going to be less wealthy, but it's going to be where the port is and some trading, and it's going to look really cool. And then eventually the castle is going to be built on this little island here. It's going to look cool with a bridge hanging over. And there's so much potential here, and I just have so many plans. So excited to keep on building this, and I hope you guys will stay with me throughout the entire project. But anyway, guys, I'm not going to hold you for too much longer. Thank you so much for watching. I really do hope that you enjoyed. If so, make sure to smack that like button, and if you haven't done it already, make sure to subscribe. It's been Viggoman, and I'm out.